Hi there, I'm Scotty Werner, and welcome to another edition of Caddy Tales, the weekly video series. Last week, if you remember, we had a question from our viewer mailbag, and it said, how do you read your player? So instead of a tip of the week, we thought we'd make this the weekly segment. We reached out to our team at Achieve Insights, and they gave us some excellent information on how to read a player's body language. We'll do that, and we'll also show you how to turn a negative into a positive. Well, we're not going to do that here at the blackjack table. We're going to do it outside. So come outside with me and meet our caddy for the day.
Hi, I'm Scott. I've been caddying for 10 years, about 4,800 loops, and I'm happy to be carrying your bag for you today. Is this your bag? How did that sound? Are you kidding me? That was horrible. I wouldn't want this guy on anywhere near my bag. What did you notice when he first came up? Some of the things that you noticed were his eyes were facing the ground. He was looking at his shoes. His voice was monotone, and he had the posture of a jumbo shrimp. Our friends over at Achieve Insights, more specifically Ray, mentioned that 50 to 80% of all communication is nonverbal. So before I even said anything, your subconscious had already made a determination as to how good I was going to be for you for the entire day. Today, let's take a look at some of those things that are involved in identifying or reading a player with their body language. We're going to take a look at their posture. We're also going to take a look at where their eyes are focusing. And also, we're going to take a listen to how their voice sounds throughout the course of the day. And if we find out that our player's in a negative state of mind, we're going to show you how to go ahead and change that and paint a great positive mental picture for that player. And to do so, I'd like to share something that I learned this week from my new friend, Dr. Nick Morgan. And that terminology is mirrored neurons. I had no idea what these things were. They happen all the time, so let me share those with you. Mirrored neurons are neurons in your body that fire when you see somebody else do something. For example, have you ever been sitting around the house and somebody walks past you and they stub their toe? What do? Ooh, ooh, ooh. You grab your toe. You feel that because you've observed it happen to somebody else. Or fellas, have you been sitting around on the weekend watching the X Games when the crazy skateboarders go down the railing and they fall off and the railing goes right between their legs? What do? Oh! You feel it too because your neurons are firing because they're reacting to something else. And when our player's in a negative state, it's the caddy's responsibility to go ahead and jump in there and create something positive. Let me give you an example of how you would do that. Let's say that you're on the 18th hole and your player pushes a drive off to the right. All of a sudden they're walking down the fairway, they're tapping the driver, their head starts facing their feet, and they start mumbling to themselves. Now you recognize right away that these aren't a good signs. So you need to paint a positive picture for that player. So what do? This is not a teaching moment. We're going to save that for later. This is your opportunity to jump in there and create a positive image for that player before he starts his pre-shot routine. Something like this. Steve, I know we're up there in the right rough. However, remember on number 2, we were in the right rough. We decided it was a 9-iron. You went down there and dug that ball out. You stuck it to 2 feet. You went in and you made the birdie. This ball is in almost the exact same spot. We're going to go up there. We're going to take this 9-iron. We're going to dig that ball out, and you're going to stick it to 2 feet. And you're going to make this birdie, and we're going to walk off this green and win this tournament. How does that sound? Well, all of a sudden, your player, his chest perks up a little bit, his shoulders roll back, his eyes are facing down the fairway, he's got a little bounce in his step, and even maybe he's got a little smile on his face walking down the fairway before he gets in his pre-shot routine. That's a great job by helping your player get into a positive frame of mind. So let's take a minute and review. We're going to take a look and read our player by looking at their body language. Some of the areas we're going to take a look at are, where are their eyes focusing? What's their posture like? And how's their inflection or their tone of voice? If we see it's negative, we now know that we can go ahead and paint a positive picture by giving them an example of something else that's happened throughout the course of the day that they'll remember. By doing so, your player's going to have a much better time throughout the course of the day, and hopefully we'll see you up on the leaderboard more often. Once again, we hope these techniques will help you in your career. And as always, we'd like this to be about you, the viewer. So please continue to send us your suggestions to our email box, which is caddytales@gmail.com. And if you want to send us a tweet, we will tweet you back almost right away, unless we're out on the grass also. Our Twitter address is @CaddyTalesBook. So until next week, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week.